Hey, how you doing there, young fella? I am so delighted to introduce to you folks our newest member of Friday Night PvP. Ladies and gentlemen, one ass cheek clapping against your face makes a very nice sound for Friday Night Kirk. And, oh, my cat's going at it now. He didn't like me saying that. Sorry, buddy. So we have someone to thank for the idea to do Friday Night Kirk, and I'm going to put him on the screen here. This is our friend. I don't know if he's a sub or what, or he just happened to see Friday Night Mildred and threw out this suggestion. Man, it was a great suggestion. Our friend Bill's Bulwark 532. I'll put him on the screen here for you. Thank you very much. What a great suggestion. And I'm going to make sure that he knows about this video so that he can come and maybe, I don't know, suggest somebody else. Guys, if you have a suggestion for me for a Friday night themed PvP build, by all means let me know in the comments. I can't say I'm going to get to it right away. I can't say I'm going to get to it at all. But I'm interested in hearing your suggestions on that. So by all means, guys, don't be shy. And I'm not entirely sure why I tried to hit the guy's fireball with an R1. I thought maybe I could knock it out of the park. That was just dumb. So anyway, guys, let's talk about the build. We have said goodbye to Jeremiah. I'm just going to call him Jerry. Fuck you, Jerry.
Jerry?
Yeah, we've moved on to bigger and better things. This is what we have repurposed our build into. This guy thinks he's playing Dark Souls 3. He's just not even facing us, and he's parrying away. And yeah, Kirk is actually something that you might find is worth invading with. I had such a good time with this build. It has everything. No, I'm going to go back on that a little bit. It has almost everything going for it. It doesn't quite have everything going for it, and we're going to talk about that. But it has some strengths which definitely outweigh the not so great things about it. So let's get into that. First of all, not really sure what to call this guy. Our friend Psych Mike called him Chaos Servant Kirk, which I thought was nice. He's Kirk Knight of Thorns, I think is his actual full title, if you want to call him that. I like Chaos Servant Kirk. I thought that was nice. So, yeah, let's talk about the build a little bit. You've got, of course, the barbed straight sword. You've got the spiked shield, and we're going to talk about how and where to get all this shit to. And, of course, the full Knight of Thorns set. And something, of course, everybody knows, this armor set, if you roll into somebody, you will do damage to them. And I think the damage is multiplied depending on how many of Kirk's armor pieces you're actually wearing. So we have all 4 on, so of course we are going to maximize our damage. I mean, it's just chicken shit damage, but the nice thing about it is if you go up against someone who doesn't have any poise, you will take them out of their, you know, you'll stagger them temporarily, which is kind of wild. But a nice feature and a nice kind of little perk of the armor. I'm not aware of another armor set in this game that would do anything like that. So another thing about the build, it looks fucking rad. This build looks sick as hell. This armor is the shit. And if you don't believe me, just look at it.
Oh, would you look at that?
Look at this.
Oh, would you look at that?
Look at this armor. And everybody who's played this game, you're gonna be recognized. Everybody who's played this game knows who you are, and it's pretty cool. I like that. A little better than Jeremiah, because a lot of people haven't been to the painted world and they're like, what the fuck is this shit? But Kirk, everybody knows Kirk. it's kind of like Mildred in that capacity. You get recognized a lot, and it's fun. It's a fun cosplay. So let's talk a little bit about the barbed straight sword. Now, remember, we have repurposed our Jeremiah build. Fuck you, Jerry.
I want you to fuck me, Jerry.
We've repurposed Jerry. This is our soul level 14. We've got 16 strength, 16 dex. You only need 10 strength and 10 dex to use this barbed straight sword. Actually, that reminds me, I gotta look up the spiked shield. Bear with me for a moment, folks. Spiked shield. And the spiked shield, slightly higher requirements, 10 strength and 12 dex to use the spiked shield. And this is one of the things, there's a couple things, actually 3 things that I'm not crazy about this build, and one of them isn't even well, 2 of them really isn't even the build's fault. Yeah, the barbed straight sword is not the greatest AR in the world at +5, but the bleed more than makes up for it. So that's what they were going for with that. There is definitely a balance to this weapon. But yeah, this weapon, being that it is a straight sword, it is a R1 spammer's delight. It is a R1 spammer's wet dream. And if you're an R1 spamming clown, like I am, I think you'll really like this thing. You get somebody with no poise, and you just go to town on them. That's the other thing too, though. You really got to watch out, because a lot of people have fought the real Kirk in real life and probably parried him. Get ready to get parried. If you're going to R1 spam this thing, it's like anything else. Any of those kind of faster, smaller weapons, if you're going to R1 spam it, you better get ready to get parried, because you got it coming to you, boy. And not only that, moving on to the spiked shield, which is also really cool, but there's something about that I'm not crazy about either. That spiked shield, the L2 on it is actually a shield bash, which is very strange to see that on a small shield. I think the only other one that does that is the one that you get from Siegmeyer. I can't remember what that one's called, but I think that one has an attack as well. So you cannot parry with the spiked shield. So if you like to parry like I do, you are gonna want to maybe put on a dark hand. Of course, you can parry with your bare hand if you want to do that. But yeah, no parries with the spiked shield. You get block or bash. And that bash will do bleed damage, which is awesome, because you can kind of supplement your attacks with your sword with some attacks with the shield, but be on your guard as well, because the shield attack, of course, can be parried as well. So let's talk a little bit about where you get all this shit in the event that you don't know. So there's 3 scripted events that involve Kirk in this game. He invades you 3 times. He invades you in the depths. He invades you, and I don't think there's any order to it. He invades you in the depths. He invades you in the Demon Ruins right after Ceaseless, but only after you've placed the Lord Vessel. And he also invades you right when you get to Bed of Chaos. You have to have defeated him in all 3 invasions in order to acquire his armor set. This guy's another guy from Dark Souls 3 thinking you can just face any direction and parry till your heart's content and you'll get your parry. This is Dark Souls 1, dude. GG. Yeah, you gotta beat him in all 3 locations, and only then will his armor set appear. He does not drop it. It will appear just behind the Daughter of Chaos bonfire. Daughter of Chaos, of course, being Quelaag's beautiful and talented sister. And as for the shield and the sword, those will randomly drop in any one of the 3 invasions. So in this case, I can't remember I got the shield or the sword in the depths. I got one of them in the depths. Excuse me. And then in the subsequent invasion after that, in the Demon Ruins, I got the other item. So you can get his sword and shield without having to do too much. Yeah, you have to place the Lord Vessel, but you're doing a pretty big chunk of the game just to get all of the pieces. Of course, if you got humanity to spare, I would say open up the shortcut in Lost Izalith from Quelaag's beautiful and talented sister, and that you can fast track to the final invasion and thus the armor set. But yeah, guys, get ready for it, because you are going to be doing a pretty good chunk of the game just to get everything. And if that doesn't bother you at whatever soul level you like, then that'll be just fine. We stayed soul level 14 because, I mean, just like Jeremiah, guys, I have not invaded with this build before, so I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't want to waste my whole life putting, like a soul level 40, 50, 60, whatever build together just to find out, well, actually that sucked, and now I'm stuck invading, mid and high level people, and this build isn't really going to be all that great for that. This build is very good against new players, as we demonstrate here in this episode. But we might be moving on. We're not going to put this character any higher than soul level 15 with +5. Excuse me, soul level 14 with +5. I thought I was Mildred there for a second. But I do have a soul level 40. That's my back to basics character, who I might end up duplicating this build on that and just seeing if I can get anywhere with that. So that was one of the things I wasn't crazy about. The shield does not parry. You have to go through a pretty big chunk of the game to get everything. And the other thing, we were talking about doing damage to your opponent while rolling into them, which is fine. But because we're only soul level 14, and even though I'm using the FAP ring and Havel's ring, I can still only medium roll, which isn't a terrible thing. In fact, I was going to bring that up next. Like, you get some really solid defense and 40 poise with this entire armor set, which is great. That's kind of right in the wheelhouse of where I like to be in terms of poise anyway. But yeah, because we are relegated to medium rolling, or mid rolling if you want to call it that, I really just didn't do a whole lot of rolling, and because I can't stand medium rolling. It's just a tedious pain in the ass. I am Mr. Fast Roll, and that's why I will opt to wear toilet paper when I can pick what I want to wear. Of course, I'm locked into a cosplay. That's a little different story. I'm just gonna put up with it. But yeah, like I am Mr. Fast Roll, so I really didn't do a lot of rolling with this. I tried to work the shield into some of these fights, and I'm an R1 spamming clown, so we didn't really use the shield a whole lot. But yeah, what else can I say about this, guys? The bleed effect is my nickname for this cosplay. The barbed straight sword. It's fast, it's light, you're going to get a lot of hits, and you're going to bleed out a lot of guys, and that is fun. You can trade with this. We traded with a few guys. There was a couple of guys who were using halberds, and we ended up just tanking those hits and just giving it to them. You're not going to be able to tank everything, but of course, That is one of the limitations with the build. I'm not going to really try to tank like an Ultra Greatsword or a, if this guy goes two-handed, I'm probably not going to try to tank hits from two-handed Greatswords. Unless he's got no poise, then we're okay there. A lot of people you're going to go up against at soul level 14 do not have any poise. And this build will work spectacularly against those people. You will get recognized as Kirk, and it's fun. You're gonna get people giving you point ups, and you're gonna get people giving you waves and all kinds of stuff, and it's fun. I did do a little co-op with this, which was also fun. Oh my god. There's a clip coming up that I didn't put in because we just didn't have the room for it, but there's a clip coming up where there was a guy in his Phantom, and I ended up talking to the host after, and I believe, or no, I can't remember if it was him or somebody else. It doesn't matter, but I ended up saying, hey, GG, if you want any help with anything, just, give me a shout, whatever. And I think I don't know, I invaded him a couple times. Yeah, I think I invaded him a couple times right here in the depths, and then ultimately I said, hey dude, do you want to summon me? We'll go wreck the boss. This build I think works much better as a PvP build, which is kind of the opposite of Kirk. Excuse me, this is Kirk. What the fuck am I saying? Which is kind of the opposite of Jeremiah. I think you could get away with Jeremiah as a PvE build, but I think Kirk is actually better as a PvP build because we went up against that gaping dragon, and with two of us and Solaire, I think that whole thing probably took like 15 minutes. Like, yeah, you can, I think you can bleed him out, but like, oh my god, just at +5, this thing is just not good. Now, if you wanted to co-op against the Taurus Demon or the gargoyles or something like that, I think you'd have a much better time, being that those places are a little more conducive to +5 weapons as opposed to, we get the large ember here in the depths. I think it's assumed that we're probably going to be getting close to +10-ish. But yeah, so like, if you want to do some co-op with this build, be prepared for it to take 30 years. And I don't want to say that this cosplay was a complete success. I would say, if not a complete success, it was very, very close. The build is fun. The build is recognizable. I won most of my fights. We're about to see one where I did not win. That's okay. This guy had a really good strategy against me, actually. He had some nice poise, and he would have me get close to him, and then he would just lay into me with this crystal greatsword. And I messaged this guy after saying, GG. He baited me into rolling toward him there. That was just such a good strategy there, and I'm so dumb, I just fell for it again. What, the simplicity of it was just awesome. GG to this guy. But yeah, guys, like, I think this is a build anybody could step into and have a lot of fun with. Yes, I am using the Dark Hand. I really didn't get into any pyromancy other than that clip we saw in the beginning. I don't believe Kirk uses any pyromancies, so I didn't want to really break character too much in that regard. But I think having the Dark Hand was okay. I need to have something I could parry with, and ultimately I think I'd be okay with doing like a double Dark Hand, kind of like what we do with Mildred, kind of like what we did with Jeremiah. Just for those AFK guys, you can very much suck some humanity out of their shit pipe. Because I think Kirk would be very much into that anyway. Chaos Servant Kirk, although, yeah, he is a Chaos Servant, so You know, in our world, he's a dark wraith. I mean, I'm a dark wraith, but not sure there's any lore overlap there or what. I don't really know too much about that whole scene. I'm the kind of guy that's like, I don't really care so much about the lyrics. I just care if it sounds good, right? So lore and that kind of stuff, yeah, I find it interesting on some level, but the nitty-gritty of it, I don't really care too much. Look how cool that armor looks. That is one reason to just to try it yourself. You get recognized. It is a fun build. Like I say, it's an R1 spammer's wet dream, this thing. It's just fantastic. You're gonna bleed out a lot of guys, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna get stun locked to death by the Black Knight sword, and you're gonna love it. This guy, I don't know, this guy didn't like the cut of my jib or something, and he demonstrated that to us right now. I don't know, this guy, maybe a long time ago, this guy had an invader pull his underwear out of his pants and over his head or something. I don't know what the deal is with everybody, but it's just an invasion, dude. Get over it. Yeah, lots of nice things to say about this build. It was really fun. Yeah, you have to go through a good chunk of the game to get everything. That's fine. If you want to do soul level 14, if you wanted to kind of step it up to soul level 20 or something, you could do that. Then you're still going to get a ton of invasions in the areas that I mentioned earlier. No, you can't shield with that parry, so you're going to have to make an arrangement there. If you want to parry, actually, that reminds me, our friend Tempered Puro has a Kirk build, I believe. So this might be interesting to you there, young fella, me old trout. And comparing how you've done yours to how I've done mine might be an interesting conversation to have. I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, this is the last clip. I had an absolute blast doing this. I think I'll probably be doing another one. Got any questions, comments, concerns, whatever the hell it is, you know where to put them. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see your fine ass later. And no funny stuff or I'll do the job. See ya!